I have come back to the theme of contentment many times in my life. In times of loss, suffering, and in times of feeling restlessness bubble under the surface of my every waking moment. In my journey of understanding the Hebrew word shalom, which means peace and wholeness, I have begun to learn that when I turn my heart and mind from a state of restlessness and towards growing in contentment, I find myself settling anxious emotions and experiencing peace. Often with the pace of life and our culture's influence, we can go through our days thinking, I should be doing more, achieving more, or reaching for a greater goal. In these moments, it is good to stop and check in with yourself and ask, where does this drive and restlessness come from? There is nothing wrong with being goal-orientated. I myself have a temperament which loves to set goals on a daily basis, but the attitude in which life is approached matters greatly to life satisfaction, to relationships, and to your peace. What I have learned and still learning about contentment. Contentment is not laziness. It is not an excuse for not reaching for better in your life. It is not forgetting about the important things in life to do, and it's not complacency. Contentment to me is a variety of principles to learn and grow in. It is an inward acceptance, even in the face of loss and suffering. It is accepting circumstances outside of my circle of control and having the wisdom to know what needs to be let go of. Paul Tournier, a Swiss psychologist and doctor, said, "Acceptance of one's life has nothing to do with resignation. It does not mean running away from the struggle. On the contrary, it means accepting it as it comes, with all the handicaps of heredity, of suffering, of psychological complexes, and injustices. It is an acknowledgement of unfulfilled desires, to hold longing without judgment and choosing still to be faithful. It is allowing others to be completely themselves in all their beauty and brokenness. It is allowing myself to be me in all my beauty and all my flaws and all my weak places. Contentment is not raging against the imperfections of life, but it's taking responsibility for what is in my control and then releasing the control of how things should turn out. After all we can do in this life is take personal responsibility. But how impossible is it to control outcomes and people? To be content, one must let go of disappointments and resentments. A heart and mind cannot find rest if we are holding others in our grasp and holding them to expectations as if they owe us something. Contentment is making the most of what is in your hand right now and taking gratitude seriously. The dark fear of lack seems to fade away in the light of choosing contentment. And learning contentment is something we all need to be a lifelong student of. We will be happy with the small things in life that we are so often rushing past and embrace the slower days when we practice contentment. Do you know that studies in positive psychology show that only 10% of our happiness is circumstantial? What a great relief to know that our happiness does not have to depend on our circumstances. Instead, it depends mainly on the quality of our relationships and the quality of our thinking and heart attitude. My faith in God has been my truest and deepest source of contentment. A relying, a trusting in someone far greater than little me. Where I lack, where I long, where I am restless, I have Him to run to, even if sometimes He is quite mysterious. I can know that in my weakest parts, and when I lack, and when I suffer, and when life hits like a storm, His strength remains a rock, that we can all stand on when we are feeling weak. Contentment is finding a resting place. It is being alone, but alone with God in peace.